Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense expert, joining us on the broadcast. Major Shah, now you do have some experience understanding Manipur, but take us through now, how do we end this violence? It has been going on for far too long at this point, and we have in fact discussed a peace plan that the Home Minister has ordered, as well as logically the steps that the security forces should take, and they have been taking. But the violence just does not seem to stop, and in fact it is escalating at the point where ministers' houses are being burnt down, sir.
Right, that's a very good question. You know, just last evening I was watching a very senior journalist, one of the senior journalists of the country, I would say, and he called himself that as well. And his analysis on YouTube, and he said, when I do an analysis on YouTube as a senior journalist, or the senior most serving journalist in the country, I get very few views on this analysis on Manipur, on this news. It catches very less traction. And hence, it's once again, he drew an analogy with this. He said people are not really very key, despite the trouble that's happening over there, despite the mayhem, despite the whole nation being concerned. I mean, he gets little traction. So similarly, he said people normally are not that concerned, apparently. And I was quite surprised. I was quite shocked, because I comment NewsX. Apart from NewsX, I don't know any other channel who's taken this matter up so seriously. I mean, that's really commendable. It is very important that we give a due focus towards Northeast, the right focus that it deserves. Beautiful land, beautiful people. Now, when that traction doesn't come there for a journalist, a senior journalist, I mean, I'm sure everyone would have seen that analysis, because a lot of views it had, and people would know who I'm speaking about. So when that didn't happen, he said, that is again why the government does not take interest. I'm not talking about the BJP government or the Congress government which was in power, the government of the day. I'm not talking about the state government, I'm talking about the central government. So when that doesn't happen, I mean, we can well imagine the kind of interest people have taken and the kind of focus they've given towards Northeast. Now, when you talk about Northeast can include Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. But when you talk about Manipur over here, specifically Manipur, well, it is actually very surprising. It's really surprising for an ex-serviceman like me, or anyone from the forces, that when we get to hear that thousands of weapons go missing, go looted from the Manipur State Police Commandos, which are a very good fighting force. Let me tell you, I have dealt with them personally. We have worked together, and I know for a fact they are a commendable fighting force. I mean, such brave people, and I don't know how thousands of weapons can be looted from such a good fighting force, firstly. Secondly, mayhem has been going on for over a month and a half, and I'm surprised actually. We've heard of the Assam Rifles doing a great job. We haven't spoken much about the army, which I'm sure they're doing a great job as well. Now see, there was Armed Forces Special Power Act in the whole of Manipur. A few months earlier, it was uplifted from the valley side, from Imphal, which means now the armed forces would not be able to, which was a very controversial subject, let me again tell you. With Armed Forces Special Power Act, some people said, let's move it, some people said amend it, some people said you can't revoke it. But again, army cannot function without the Armed Forces Special Power Act over there. Let's accept that. Now, when such a mayhem has happened, and because army cannot go there and start controlling out of its own initiative. Army can take care of insurgency of the underground factions over there, which collect tax from the local people, and the local people very unfairly, very fairly they pay tax to the Indian government, and very unfairly they pay tax to the underground as well. So they are paying two taxes. So the undergrounds also, they run a parallel government where they have it's a very well organized structure. And let me tell you my personal experience when I was there fighting insurgency. The undergrounds over there do not touch, they do not attack the ladies and children. They are very worthy opponents. They are men of principles. They are women who are there in the underground. They live in the same barrack many times, the same dormitory, but never does anything go wrong. And God forbid, if anything, God help that person who misbehaves with a lady who is a tribal woman, or it can be from any particular community. God help them. So they are men of principle. They are people of principle. They have their values. They have the value system very much intact. They stand by what they say. I know one officer, again in Manipur, who was serving there. I have no hesitation in naming him. He did a very fine job, and he he got a Kirti Chakra, that's the highest award for gallantry. On 15th August 2008, he got a Shaurya Chakra. On 26th January 2009, he got a Sena Medal. On 15th August 2009, he got 3 commendation cards. He was serving with the Assam Rifles. And why did he do that? Why? He did something gallant? No. His intelligence, he understood the Northeast, the tribal culture very well, the ethnic affinity very well, the topography, the geography, he understood that very, very well. And that's how he could get successful operations from the underground. But now the people over there who are protesting are our own people. They are not underground. It's not an insurgency problem. They are our own people. They are villagers. They are very innocent people. Now, what has happened to these innocent people that they have taken to the streets, they have taken to violence, that they have taken to arson, they have taken to rioting? It is indeed alarming. Now, the army cannot come and start, like the way I gave the example of the officer who got a lot of gallantry awards. Army cannot come there for aid to civil authorities. Right now, it is a situation where there should be aid to civil authorities. So, army cannot take the initiative and start doing things on their own. So, army has to be formally, officially called out to come and as an aid to the civil authorities. Another question to be asked is, why hasn't the army been called as the aid to the civil authorities over here in this case? Thirdly, Assam Rifles, I would commend them. They're doing a very neutral, a very fair job. But I am surprised if anyone who is doing a fair job, aspersions are being cast upon them from the other side. I'll give you a small example. If you get a cookie voice on your channel, you'll be accused by the Maiti community. If you get a Maiti voice, you'll be accused by the Cookie tribe. So I'm sure I've observed that you've been very, very careful. When you get a cookie voice, you get a Maiti voice as well. When you get a Maiti voice, you get a cookie voice as well. But that, if in case for any other channel, if that's happened, I'm sure, it's not because of anyone taking sides. That's the way it's happened, right? So Assam Rifles was helping anyone who was victimized. They were protecting them against the arsoners, against rioters, but they were accused, unfortunately. Now, interesting thing to note over here is a very logical point. Assam Rifles troops are not just only from Northeast, they're from Haryana, they're from Uttar Pradesh as well, they are from the others, from the all parts of India. But yes, I admit, majority of them are from Northeast. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, I hope everyone understands, many of the Assam Rifle troops are Maitis, many of them. When they protected the cookies and they sheltered them, they gave them camps. Now the troops are Maitis. That means the troops in the army and the Assam Rifles, there's only one tribe. There's no Maite community. There's one tribe, that is the Assam Rifles. That is the nation is a tribe. So they help who? They help people who were being victimized without seeing what is a tribe, what is the community, which is a caste, creed, religion. Nothing known. They have to just protect, because as Indian nationals, as responsible Indian nationals, it is our duty to make sure to help out people. When we are going on the road, we see an accident, we stop by, we help the victim of the road accident. Similarly, I think our forces over there, when I say, I mean the army and I mean the Assam Rifles in particular, and I'm not saying this because I have served with them. No, I am saying that I have seen it happen. They are so unbiased, so neutral. So the best way to get peace is when the politics of this takes a backseat.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Politics must take a back seat, and the fact that peace and maintenance must come into place, and that can only be done through security forces. Major Shah, stay with us. We're in fact shifting our focus to Bengal as well. Politics has now taken a front seat, like we were talking about earlier, and that has now led to more violence. And because of the panchayat elections, they've been trying to control the violence, but the politics of it has in fact overtaken that.
Very well brought out by you, and yes, you rightly corrected that with this. And yes, I see when a state government refuses to, when they are not able to control the rioting, the arson, the violence, I would give them, earlier I was saying 24 hours, 48 hours, I will give them benefit of doubt. Hearing a senior officer, hearing a senior general who mentioned 72 hours, I will give them the benefit of doubt of 72 hours as well. That means there's something wrong. There's definitely something wrong. That means there is perhaps much more that meets the eye. There are a lot of undercurrents. That's something which we cannot see, but which is there in force, which is there in motion. So I believe, obviously, if that's not happening, Of course, the arsonists might be, they could be, the state government may not be really truthfully wanting it to happen, because if you truly desire something from the bottom of the heart, the whole universe conspires to get it together for you. That's said by Paulo Coelho. It's also said in a Hindi film by Shah Rukh Khan, Om Shanti Om. अगर किसी चीज को पूरे सच्चे दिल से और पूरी दिल से चाहो, पूरी कायनात उसको आपसे मिलाने में लग जाती है. So in case they truly want peace, they do not want that violence, they do not want that politics to go further there. They can do it. They have all the state machineries. They have the paramilitary. They have the police. They have everything under their control. They have the state home ministry department under their control. The DG of the police report to the home ministry over there, who report to the chief minister. So they have their whole thing in order, and a fighting force which is armed, which has the power. Don't tell me they cannot look after, they cannot take care, they can't silence a mob which is doing arson and violence. It is slightly difficult for me to digest. We have controlled mobs. We have controlled deadly mobs. I was in Nagaland and we had ceasefire there. Our company was surrounded by thousands of tribals, thousands. And I came out, spoke in the local language, I spoke to the leader, and tensions were diffused. A minute later, they were having their, whatever they would make, their rice beer or whatever they would make. And we were having a soft drink and a tea, and we were celebrating together. We would sit together and we would play the guitar together. We would have the function. We would celebrate Sekrene. We would celebrate Motso on 2nd August. I know the dates. I know the dates of the tribals festival. And so the Ao festival is Motso. The Sekrene is the Angami festival. And that's in Nagaland I'm talking about. So similarly, when the state government, if they wish, they can put an end to it. I don't believe, and I will refuse to believe, how much ever anyone convinces me that no, state government is concerned, they tried their best to control it, it's not coming under control. How can it be? How can that be? A fire, a normal fire, a jungle fire, when that can be brought into control in the mountains, fires take a long time to actually douse. It can be electric fire. If you put water on electric fire, it'll be further damage, right? So a normal fire, a gas fire, if you put water, it can douse. Similarly, when fires can ultimately be brought under control, I'll take you back to 1997, 1998. I was present there in the soil of Manipur, incidentally. I will correlate this with the Manipur incident, and I'll come back to Bengal, okay, after that. I was there when the famous clash in Charanpur took place between the Kuki army and the Tadao Kuki speaking people and the Kuki army, the Paite, that the Shaute. But the clash, a lot of army columns were brought in. It was brought under control. Ultimately, the Mizo had to step in to sign a peace pact. And in the year 1998, it was doused. Similarly, I went to study at IIM Calcutta. Now, when I was in IIM Calcutta, I saw there were a lot of bums, irrespective of whichever party it is. West Bengal has always had a series of violence, a history of violence. Name it in 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. You name it. It's been a tradition. Without violence, my real sister, is a renowned politician from West Bengal. I've seen her fight election, and thankfully, touch wood, fingers crossed, things have been very peaceful at her end. But Bengal has a very concerning tradition of violence whenever any election takes place.
Elections take place, absolutely, yes. Right. Right, sir, thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts on that development.